can start now, right? So in array, first we need to understand what is array, right? What is array? The type of data, right? And then and the symbol of array is what? Square bracket, like this. So if I have to store array, right? So this is my JavaScript file, correct? I want to store an array somewhere. So let arr is a variable and I can store like this. This is just the empty array, right? Remember, array is just the type of data. And now you have to understand the characteristic of array, right? So the first thing, you store all data here. You can store any data, right? Any data means what? Any type of data. Number. This is index 0, right? You can put string also. Does not matter. I said any. You can put, Boolean, right? True, false. Even you can store what? Tell me any data type, right? Null is also type. Undefined also is a data type, Even you can store another array, right? You can store even object. Okay. So that means what? Okay, fine. I get it now, right? Array is just the type of data which stores all data type. But normally what we do, right? In the real world, most likely you will be storing object like this. That is all you will be doing most of the time, okay? So let's say this array is called school, right? School. And this school array stores the student. So each object is what? Object is anything. Car is object. Student is object. Okay. So even you can create object, array, right? Let's call it let's say in the town, right? One of your town. I don't know how many schools are there. School in town, okay? School in Cape Town, right? Whatever, okay? Cape Town or something like that. So if I have to store all the schools in this Cape Town, each school is now object, okay? So I will say school 1, that is ID. Then name of the school, right? Maybe, my school, right? Okay. Then again, maybe the year started, right? Something like that. 1954. Okay. So you can have similar information for all the schools in this town, okay? Maybe the restaurant, right? In one of the towns. So you store in an array inside the object. So each restaurant is one object. So we will learn about the object coming days, right? But what we have to learn here is, so in the array, what are the important things you're going to learn? How to insert data in array, right? Basically add, remove, right? So what are the functions for adding? Push, right? So you're going to call array dot built-in function. If there is built-in function, same thing. If you have a string, something like string dot to uppercase, like that, right? You can do that. Same thing for array, call the array. So let's say school is array, right? School is array. I will call school. Okay, just think like that. School is array, this is square box dot push. So it will add data, whatever data you're gonna do, right? It will add, in the back here. So let's quickly look at this in the console, right? So I'll just go one of the console. Let me open that. Oh, how to remove. Okay. So inspect. So for example, let's say let ARR equal to this, correct? Now if I call ARR, right, I will get empty array. If I do array.push and just add number, right, 10. Okay. Now if I call ARR, see, I have 10 inside, right? So I will add again, maybe let's add 20, 30. I can add many, right? 40 does not matter. Okay. Enter. Now there is, the length is 4 now, right? If I call ARR, see, I have 4 items in the array. See that? So I keep adding on the back, right? So that is push. If I have to remove, so just call ARR dot pop, right? So it will pop out from the back, 1 items from the back. Enter. See, the 40 is out, right? So you see, the when you run this function, what happened? Whatever data it will remove, right, it is giving you back here. See that? So sometimes maybe you have the use case of that data, right? So whatever is the last item, let me get that and use it to do something, right? So let's say, for example, let's pop it, and whatever number I get, right, I want to multiply by 10. See, so I have 30 multiply by 10, right, and our result will be 300. So there will be use case of that data you're gonna pop. Similarly, there is what array dot unshift, right? Unshift. So what it will do now? See, still we have 2 items. How many items are there in the array? Let me check. Right, there is 2 items, right? So let's add something, okay, from the front side. So I will call unshift and put maybe, let's make a string, right, from the front. So we're gonna add something to the front and call array again. So see, we just added the string to the front, right? So that is unshift. And if you want to remove from the front, array dot shift. Okay. And it will also give you back that value, right? So when you remove, because when you're adding, it stores in the array, right? But when you remove, so it, if you don't use it, it will vanish. But if you have the use case, you can store somewhere in the variable. Like for example, let str equal to whatever you unshift, right, from the front. Now if I call str, see, I just store that in the str variable. I call it, right? So if I need str plus space add something, right? I'm just, just simple, the front and something. See that? So you can do whatever you want, right? You have the data stored in the variable. So always think of the data and how and where you're gonna store it and how you're gonna use it, right? Fine. So this is the 4 methods, important one, right, related to the array, right? Next is array.length to find the length of the array. So if I go array.length, right, it will give me the number 2 because I remove the front. So there is only 2 items in the array. And if I have to find the last index, what is the formula? Again, same thing, same like string, right? Length minus 1. So that is the 1, right? Index is 1. So there is 2 items in the array. So index of last item will be 1 because the first one is 0, second one is 1. All right. So that was the basic, methods, right, of the array. Now, so let's look at one, maybe which one we can look at, right? Fine, I will just take this one example. First, I will copy this. Which number is this? Array exercise, I believe 1, right? First one. This first one or maybe the other one, not sure, right? But okay, anyway, let's take this. So any question on array, guys, until now? Everyone okay with that? Right, clear? So let's look at one two examples, and then we're gonna even go through the execution context and try to understand. So if I have to solve this right quickly, let's total JS. Okay, how I will do that? Total JS. So in array, here I'll just put it, or maybe let's make a new file. Okay. So if I have to solve this, right, the function is saying write a function total. So write a function total, right? So I'll say const total equal to whatever here function. Function accepts array as an argument. So just think always same thing, you know, function, your function total accept array as an argument. Look at this, right? It says the function should return the total sum of all the elements in an array. Oh, okay. So I have to now go inside this array, take all this number one by one and store it somewhere, like by adding, right? Store to the one of the variables somewhere. Okay. So in order to get each item in the array, what is the what should I do now? What should I do if I have to get each item from the array? What is the first thing I need to do? Anyone? If I have to get each item, right, one by one from the array, what we need to do? Anyone, can you tell me? You can talk, no problem. Just I was asking if I have to get each item, right? I want to go through each item in the array. What is the first process? What you have? What do you think? For loop, right? Because yes, same thing with the string. If you have to get each character of the string, right? You know, the loop, because each means what? You're gonna do the same thing many times. Like first item, second item, third item, you have to get until the length of the array, right? Until the length of the string. So when you have to do that things, that is a loop. I mean, there is what? Until now, right? The only thing we need is a loop. So you have to be clear, okay, in what situation I need loop, right? Why I'm using loop. And that's the reason for all that exercise, okay? You do many times to develop that thinking power, right? Because if you just do one time, two time, not gonna work. You have to do like 6, 7 times at least, you know. So that once you do that much hard work, right? Trust me, then you'll start thinking. When you see something like this, your mind will just keep running, you know, you'll just figure out right quickly. So loop, okay? That's the only thing, you know, if you have to read each data in the array, there is a loop, nothing else you can do, right? So just now, okay, for loop I know how to write, because this is index. I need index, right? Because I need to, you know, the array items are stored in an index. You know, just think of this. These are sitting here, right? So in the memory also it has an address. So this array is stored in one of the variable, right? But each item inside has a memory now, which is index 0, 1, 2, 3, like that. Okay, so you need, for this array, you have to just use the index to get the item from there. Okay, so index start always from 0. Now I will check if that index is less than array.length. So the array.length will be 3 in this case, right? 3, 0, 1, 2. So the when index become 3 is less than 3, it will stop. Okay, because I just need index until 2. That is all I need, right? And you know, good to go. I still need to do one thing, right? I increase every time, I plus plus. So where is I now? I plus plus. So if I have to get the first number, because this condition is true, so I will enter inside here, right? Okay, I'm inside the for loop now. What should I do now? Let me get the number. So let n equal to array square bracket I. So if I do that, 0 will give me the first number. Wow, I stored the 3 in n, right? Fine, I have. What should I do with that 3 now? What should I do? Because the loop will repeat and every time it reset everything, right? So I must store that somewhere outside the loop. So let total equal to 0. Okay, so I will say total, right, plus equal to n. See that? So what I have done, total plus equal to n, right? What I did, I have 3. I said, okay, I'll just store that in the total. Then I plus plus gonna happen after this line of code, because there is no more code to run. So now I become 2. 2 is less than 3. Yes, it will go inside. This time, 1, right? Array will be 1. So for 1, you're gonna get 2, right? This 2 number. Index 1 is value 2. So you will add now whatever in the total, that is 3 plus new value 2. That will be 5 now, right? And same thing for the last one. So once the loop is finished here, you just go and return, right, your total. Okay, fine. So when you run this code, you should get the total value, right? So that is 13, 12, 7, and 0. Because here you don't have anything. So this loop will never run, right? Okay, because the length is 0. So 0 is less than 0, that is false. This loop will never run. So that's why just returning total, that is 0, right? Okay, so we get this one. So in execution context, right, how it will work now? Do I have to explain, or you guys figure out now? Guys, is that clear on execution context, or I have to explain? You guys can figure out? Tell me, anyone on this part, right? Because here is only one function, So let's quickly look at, right, just do the quick, I'll just copy this whole thing. The more important is understanding the for loop, right? That is the more important there. So, we have, let's do quick, okay? So that we have this problem. Let's imagine that, okay, code runs. First thing, what happened now? You're gonna have execution context, right? So, correct, global execution context, like that, right? Fine. So in that, there is 2 parts. One will be, oh god, let me draw the line properly. Okay, you're gonna have the memory and you're gonna have the code to execute. So here is the memory, right? Memory. I'm clicking something else, and here is code that will execute. So now tell me, what are the memory here? Anyone? Just tell me the memory, right? Quickly. What are the memory I should create?
Total div.
One variable, that's it. So total, right? It will be undefined right now. Next step is, okay, there is no more memory to create. It will quickly jump to the code to execute, right? So what is the first code it will execute? The first line is this total, right? Equal to something. So that means if there is a function in the total variable, that function will be stored. Does not matter what in the variable, right? That complete information will be stored in the variable. Either any data or even function, does not matter. So it will just store the whole function here, right? All right. So done. That is the first line. Now it will start here. This is the first code to execute. Console log, calling the function and passing the data and all that, right? So for that, you are calling the function. Function is executing. So that means you gonna create. Okay, let's create it outside right here. But this is happening. This is the global execution. This is happening inside after the global, right? Or just the top of the global. Okay, something here. Code is executing inside here, right? So I will create this in the large form. Yeah, fine. Okay, so there is a memory and again the code to execute, right? Code to execute for this function. Okay, this is what the function to execute, right? Function to execute. Okay, functional execution context. Okay, so now in the function, what are the memory? Anyone? What are the memory in this function? When this function execute, right? What are the memory? The first memory is this total function is running, right? What is the first memory? Guys, give me quick answer. So look at this total, right? This function. What is the first memory you can see? Always look for the parameter, okay? Always look for parameter. So you have array, right? You have one variable array in the parameter. Okay, then you have total. That's it, right? That is all. So you have two memory, okay? Now in the array, it will store what? It's gonna store the array, right? The array you're gonna pass from this whatever here, okay? So you just store that value. So I will click here. I don't know if I can able to write it. Yeah, so it will just store that array, right? So that is 3 comma 2 comma 8. So that is the first thing. And then you have total. So right now, if I click, can I click here? I don't know. Okay, I cannot write, right? So it just, so total is what? How much is that? 0, right? Right now total is 0. So you sign. After total, what is, because memory is created, then code is running. Okay, so when code runs, it will add the value of this, then value for this total. Now the for loop will run, right? Same thing, for loop is also like a function, so it will do the same thing again, everything here, it will create the memory and all that. Okay, okay, let's not add, but just remember for loop is also function, right? So it will create everything. So for now, just imagine simple enough. Let's say you have for loop with I equal to 0, like that, right? Let's say for loop is running. Okay, now I is what? But it's better to create execution context and then assign the I in that place, right? But it's okay. I is less than 0 is less than length. Now you have the length, that is 3. So 0 is less than 3. So what we can do, right? Let's put the execution here for the for loop. So the I is right now 0. This is true. 0 is less than 3, that is true. you go inside here, right? So inside here n, because you have the n memory inside the for loop, so that's why everything has to be there, n memory. So n array I, array 0 will put what? The first one is 3, right? 3. Now you do the total. Total is how much? 0. Total is basically 0, right? 0 plus, we're doing n, right? 0 plus n. N is 3. So see, this 3 is changed here in the total here, right? We just assign 3 to the total. Now I plus plus. So what happened? Now 0 become 1. It will compare. 1 is, I is less than, 1 is less than 3. Because see, we have 3 length here, right? In this array is 3. Yes, then it will go inside again. Then it will do again n, that is array I, that is 1, right? Array 1, we're gonna get second index, second item. So here will be 2 now. N equal to 2, right? And you're gonna, after that next line, so total, so 3 plus n, that is 2. Because total is 3, right? 3 plus 2, you get 5 now stored in here. So this will be replaced with 5, right? I plus plus, so I is changing. I is now 1 before, then now it's become 2 already. So again, it is true. If you look at the code here, 2 is less than 3. Yes, it will go inside. N array 2 will get 8, this 8, right? Stored in n, then total plus n, that is total plus 8, right? So total we have 5 right now. So again, you're gonna call 5, that is total, plus n, that is 8, and you get 13, right? So this 13 will be stored here again in the total. So let's call it 13. Okay, done. I plus plus, now I become 3. Okay, so 3 is less than 3, it will false, right? So it will go out of the for loop. Okay, here soon you have returned total, right? Look at this, total is outside here, which is holding the value how much? 13. This total has 13 in the memory. You can look at, right? Where is the memory here? 13. It will just return 13, and that is what passed to this console log 13, and you're gonna see that 13 in the console. This code is finished. Now it will start the next one, console log. So executing here, right? Console log total and whatever the value pass. It will create again this function execution context. Memory will be created, array total. Then the for loop will start processing here. It can have I memory, like for loop has I, then there is n inside, right? Okay. So this is the child for this function, right? So it will change this total value here. All right, because child has access to the parent information. So guys, is that okay? Anyone has anything to ask on that part? So what I want you guys to do, right? Practice the for loop and then ask me if there is any question, right? You have to face the problem, okay, and then talk to me, right? Let's discuss with everyone, because I will not take too much time, and you guys continue with the practice. Just ask me if there is anything, right? In the complex, when we reach to the maybe decomposition where we have 2 to 3 functions in one place, then maybe I'll explain again properly how the execution context, same process. I mean, process is same, right? Trust me. If you figure out how the for loops work, how the if else work, and how you put things together, right? That is all. But execution context, function execution is same, one line at a time, one console log finish, then move to the next one, then next one, then next one. It does not happen all in one time, okay? That whole process happens for every function execution. The only thing is, in the whole page, you have one global execution context, one global, right? The rest is all function executing inside that global. Okay, that is the point, right? And once the whole program is finished, then the global will be gone also. That means we, because it will be not keep running all the time. Right? If the function will be continuously running for 30 minutes, then your computer will crash, right? Because it will run out of the memory. So once the function finish, everything, all the memory, everything is cleaned up. That is called garbage collection, right? Collected, thrown out. Okay. All right. Let me stop here and please do some practice, right? That is important.